everyone. Welcome to Shoregate United Methodist Preschool family. The preschool and the church have been here for over 60 years, enriching the lives of preschoolers and their families in the community. And now you are going to be part of that journey. Our preschool is licensed by the state of Ohio, and we follow the state rules and regulations set out by ODJFS. The license can be found down on the bulletin board in the office. Now, before we get to preschool information, I'd like to let you know about an exciting, entirely free event that the church is hosting on September 17th. They're going to hold their second annual outdoor neighborhood celebration, and they're going to have free food, music, games. This is the Jamming for Jesus flyer that they've put together, and I'm going to send one of those home in all of your children's book bags next week. Now, I've met a lot of you, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cindy Noble, and I'm the director at the preschool. I can usually be found in the office, and I'm always happy to help you in any way that I can. Feel free to call or just try to find me in the building if you need me. I can confidently say that here at Shoregate United Methodist Preschool, we have the most amazing staff. They're caring, they're committed, they're dedicated to the excellence of teaching, and your child is going to benefit from all of this. Now, your child's teacher recently should have contacted you through Brightwheel. She would have told you her name, which class your child is attending, and what time they should come to preschool on that first day, which is either September 7th or 8th, depending on which class they're in. Hopefully, you were able to also watch the short video that showed you who your teachers were. We are so fortunate to have that talented group of women here at Shoregate to nurture, guide, and love your children. They truly are the backbone of the school. Now, our first priority is always the health and safety of your child, so I'm going to address those areas first. We want everyone to remain healthy this year, and in order to do that, we need your help. We ask that you do not send your child to school if they are sick. That means if they have coughs, sniffles, runny noses. Doctors aren't able to distinguish a cold from COVID from RSV, and so please don't ask your teachers to do that. If your child gets sick while they're at school, you'll be notified and you'll be asked to pick your child up. If your child has a contagious disease like pink eye or strep throat or flu or even COVID, please notify the school and then keep your child home until they feel better. Now, we will let the child's class know that they were exposed to a contagious disease. We're not going to tell them which child it was, but we're going to let them know so that parents can keep an eye out and watch their child for symptoms should they develop. Last year, parents were absolutely amazing at this. And because of that and them keeping their sick children at home, we did not have a spread of any illness here due to school exposures. We're going to continue to diligently wash our hands, clean surfaces and toys, and watch for signs of illnesses. Together, we can keep everyone as healthy as possible. Now, if you are keeping your child home for any reason, please let your teacher and the office know. It's so easy to do now using the messaging on the Brightwheel app, and of course, you can always just call the office. Now, COVID is here, and it's not going away, but we're learning to live with it. We are going to still be following the guidelines set out by CDC and the Lake County Board of Health. If your child is exposed to COVID either here at school or at home, they are not going to be required to quarantine. They will be asked to wear a mask, though, for the next 10 days while they're at school. If they're unable to wear a mask, we ask that they stay home. During this time, you'll need to monitor your child who's been exposed for symptoms. And if they develop, please get them tested. And then if your child does have COVID, they need to stay home for 5 days, and then they can return on day 6 as long as they've been symptom-free for 24 hours. And then they will need to wear a mask for the next 5 days so that they don't keep exposing people. As always, things can change, and they often do. So I know that's a lot, but if you have any questions, just give me a call. Mask wearing. Now, masks are not required for daily wear for any of the students, unless your child is getting over COVID or they've been exposed to COVID, as I stated previously. If you would like your child to wear a mask, we will support you in that decision. For the staff this year, mask wearing is going to be optional unless Lake County guidelines ask for masks to be worn indoors. Some staff may choose to wear a mask while working closely with your child or when greeting you at the door. You'll probably see me in a mask a lot of the time because I go from class to class all day long and I don't want to be spreading germs throughout the whole building. Now, your child's safety is also important to us. We have fire drills, tornado drills, and intruder drills on a regular basis. These are state mandated drills. If we have to evacuate the building for any reason, we are going to walk about 3 or 4 houses down to the library, and you can find us there. We will notify the police department, and we will be calling parents if we have to evacuate, so you'll know where to find us. All staff is trained in how to respond in each of these types of situations. The doors to the building are locked, except when parents are dropping off and picking up their children, and only during pickup and drop off are these doors unlocked. After that, I'm going to lock the doors. So at 9:10, the doors are locked, and if you need to get into the building, and sometimes your child has a doctor's appointment or they just don't want to get up in the morning and you're running late, just call me and I will come and I will open the door for you. Now, also, no child is going to be excused from class or given to any adult without written permission, unless it's their parent. Drop off and pickup procedures. You should have received a video about drop off and pickup. If you watched it, fast forward through this section. But due to the number of people entering our very narrow hallways, we're staggering our start times. You're able to drop your child off at school anytime between 8:55 and 9:10. Now, don't feel like you have to be the first one in the door and you have to be here right at 8:55. When the day starts, your child's going to walk in, drop their book bag off, their water bottle, they're going to wash their hands, and they may play for a few minutes. I promise they're not going to miss anything if they get here at 9:05. See what time works best for you and your child. Changing the time by just 3 or 4 minutes can help eliminate a lot of the congestion in the halls. Now, the doors are going to be relocked, as I said, at 9:10. Pickup times are between 11:25 and 11:35. If you're in pre-K, pickup is between 12 and 12:10. We're still going to be using the 2 entrances this year. If you're in room 12 or 13, you enter in the entrance that's closest to the parking lot. If you're in room 16 or 17, enter down the long sidewalk that runs beside the playground, and you can come in that way. When exiting, we ask that you continue down through the education hallway. Go straight down. Don't try to come back up through that hallway. It's so congested. Go out that back door and you can just walk around to the parking lot. It's super easy. Now, be aware as you're driving in and out of that parking lot, people are coming and going, and kids are in that parking lot the whole time. Please drive slowly and just be extra cautious. We ask that you come in off of Bay Ridge, park, and then exit on 307. That's going to eliminate people going in and out the same entrance. Now, there's going to be a lot of hand washing going on this year. Your child's going to wash their hands immediately upon entering the building. They're going to wash their hands before they leave. They're going to be washing their hands before they eat, when they pick their nose, if they cough. There's just going to be a lot of hand washing going on. I'm sure most of them have that skill down pat by now. Now, a lot of times people ask me, is my child going to be prepared for kindergarten? What do they need to know before they go to school? I have spoken to countless kindergarten and early elementary teachers through the years. I've read articles, listened to podcasts on the subject, and I just want to share with you guys a few things that I've learned. Now, teachers most of the time tell me it would be really nice if your child was able to recognize the alphabet and the numbers. And it's good if they understand how they're used, but really, I need your child to know how to learn so that I can teach them. And these include the skills like sharing, attentiveness, self-control, persistence, good self-help skills, sensitivity towards other, independence, but still knowing when and how to ask for help, and just an enjoyment in learning new things. Here at Shoregate United Methodist Preschool, our teachers focus our learning activities with these goals in mind. What looks like play to us is actually a child's work. For example, your child might be building something in the block center, and he or she looks like they're finished with the blocks and they're done. But the teacher might come over to them and say, hey, can you build a tower that's twice as tall? The goals are different now. The child's mind is focused on a new task. He has a specific goal. He wants it to build it higher. And it's up to him to make a plan to actually achieve that goal. Now, if the child gives up too easily, the teacher's always there with encouragement, or possibly adding an additional child into it so they're learning to work and play together to accomplish a task. Can you see everything that they've just worked on? they've been attentive, they've been persistent, they're having self-control, and maybe they even shared. They also probably worked on some math and engineering. That's just one instance of what occurs countless times throughout your child's day here at Shoregate. Now, there's also a direct correlation between your child's vocabulary and then their ability to read. It's important that we all, as educators and parents, provide children with lots and lots of words and a huge variety of words. You can sing, you can make up silly rhymes, you can have discussions with your child, answer all their questions, and read lots and lots and lots and lots of books. And here at Shoregate, we're going to do all those things. Okay, so that was more than just a little bit, but you can see that I'm very passionate about early childhood education. Now, let's talk about what your child's first day of school will look like. Your child's teacher recently contacted you and she gave you all the information you need to know for the first day. Remember, it's only a half session and you are going to stay with your child for that half session. This will give your child the opportunity to become familiar with their classroom, see who their teacher is, and actually have some of their classmates close by. That first day, while you're there, the teacher's going to ask you to fill out some paperwork for them. Now, the first day that you drop your child off, we know that there's going to be some tears. Some of them may be your child's, but a lot of them are mom's. Don't worry. We are used to all the crying. All the teachers are used to it. We've all dealt with it. And the best way for you to do it is put a smile on your face, tell your child you're going to have a great time, give them a big hug and kiss, and then just tell them you'll be back soon, and then you can just leave them. If your child cries for a long time, we will call you. Not even a long time. I'd say 5 or 10 minutes. That feels like a long time when a child's crying, right? So we will call you. If you're really worried about it, just wait in the parking lot for a few minutes and just see how things go. Now, we must have written permission to dismiss your child to anyone other than a parent. You're going to receive a form on that first day that you attend with your child, and you're going to write down on that form anyone that you think might be picking up your child for the entire school year. Then remind anyone who picks up your child that they have to have a photo ID. We will not release your child to anyone without it, and I've sent Grandma back home to get her driver's license. So that's just how it goes, and it's just safest for all of us. Now, you should have received an electronic version of the handbook this year through Brightwheel. Make sure that you read through it. It has a lot of important information on it. Your child's safety is important to us. I told you we're going to do all of those different kinds of drills that we need to do. Now, another thing parents always ask me about is our discipline policy. We find that redirection and gentle verbal correction in a positive manner usually takes care of any situation. Now, if a child does need to be separated from the group, whether they come down and see me or they're just separated out in the hallway for a minute with the assistant, a staff member is always going to stay with them, and we will spend some time talking with him or her and see what the whole problems were and try to resolve them. Then they will be quickly reintroduced to the group. The parent's going to be informed of the situation. Now, working together, we have found that the family and the school can just about resolve every issue. Please dress your child in play clothes and rubber-soled shoes. All shoes have to have a back on them, and they should have a closed toe. Play clothes are important. We don't want children to worry about getting dirty as they play. Now, your child will also need a book bag this year, and in their book bag, we're asking that you place some kind of water bottle, preferably plastic, with whatever they're going to have to drink that day, and this is going to come back home every day. And then also that you put in a bag of clothes so that if they should have a spill or if they do have an accident, they have their own clothes to put on. We do have clothes in the classroom, but most children prefer to put their own clothes on. We also ask you that you label their book bag, any coats, any boots that they wear, any toys that they bring to school, because let me tell you, when all those coats are lined up out there, every child thinks that purple sparkly coat is theirs. And the only way we know is if there's a name in the coat. So please label everything. Now let's talk about the school calendar for a minute. We do not follow Willoughby Eastlake's calendar or any other school districts. We have our own schedule. You will have received a list of all of our holidays and days off, and that will have been sent to you through Brightwheel. And they're also going to be on our website. If you want to look ahead and see like when is Christmas break, you can either look at that days off calendar or you can go on the website. And we'll also send home a monthly calendar that will tell you what days we have off during that month. We will celebrate Halloween, Christmas, and Valentine's Day with parties here at school. Now, what about snow days though? In that case, we will follow Willoughby Eastlake's lead on canceling classes due to weather. If Willoughby Eastlake is canceling classes, we will be canceled also. If you hear or see anywhere that Willoughby Eastlake is canceled, we are too. We're going to try to send you a message as soon as we hear that they're canceled. We'll send it to you through Brightwheel. You can also check the website and see, because we will also post it up there when we are canceled. And maybe your teacher will even notify you too. But again, if Willoughby Eastlake is closed for weather, we are too. Now, a monthly newsletter is going to be sent home. The electronic version will come through Brightwheel, but we also are going to send you home a printed calendar. That's going to list all the days off. It's going to list color days, party days, letter of the week for the 4-year-olds, anything you need to know. So that's going to be printed, and you will be able to take that home, put it on your refrigerator, and you'll be able to see what's going on that day before you leave school. All that information is also posted on our website, www.shoregatepreschool.com. Now, another piece of valuable information for you guys is the daily news that's posted outside the door of your child's classroom. The teacher's going to list the stories, the crafts, any science experiments they do, important information coming up, what snack they're eating. Everything's going to be on there. So if your child comes home and you say, what did you do? And they say, played, or I don't know, you will have known what book they read. You can talk to them about it and you can get the conversation rolling. Another thing a lot of people did was if mom or dad didn't drop off, they took a picture of it and they sent it over to mom or dad so they knew what the child was doing that day also. Now, what forms do we need in order for your child to be at school? We have to have your enrollment form entirely completed before they can be left at school. Our state licensing expert will check this. Your teacher's going to have you review that first day of school. We also must have your medical form. Now, your child's medical form is signed and dated by the pediatrician or the nurse practitioner or whoever with the time of the child's last well child check. It's not when they went in to get their ears checked or whatever. It's their well child check. That form is good for 1 year and 1 month. So if your child had their visit last or just recently, just go to the doctor, have them fill it out and bring it to us. And then we are going to remind you, like if it was dated for March, we're going to let you know like in February, schedule your appointment, you're going to need a new form. If it's dated in March, it's going to be due in April. Just every child has to have one. Again, it's a state licensing thing. And if your child does not have a current medical on file, they won't be able to return to school until they get one. Now, you do have until October to get your medical to me. If you've been having a hard time getting into a doctor, they gave us a little bit of grace. And so by October 6th, I have to have everybody's medical here. Now, last thing, tuition. Tuition for the 2022-23 school year is divided into 9 equal payments. Your first tuition payment was made when you registered and you paid your first monthly tuition and your registration fee. After that, you're going to have 8 monthly payments. Most of you have already made 2. You made one in August and you made one for September. So you're 2 ahead. Your one you did at registration and then the August one. So you are not going to make any payment in April and May. Now, all payments are due by the 1st of the month and they're considered late after the 7th of the month. After the 7th of the month, you are going to, from now on, you're going to be receiving a $15 late fee. So everybody's warned, you're going to sign a tuition paper at school, and the policy is if you have a late payment, then you're going to get a $15 late fee. Payments are due by the 7th of every month. Now, tuitions are made through the Brightwheel app, and you're going to be sent an invoice 5 days before the 1st of the month, and then you can either pay, and there's no fee for you using the Brightwheel app unless you choose to use a credit card. If you use a credit card, then Brightwheel will charge you 2.9%. If a payment is returned due to not sufficient funds, there is an additional $35 fee on our side. We appreciate all of you who have so diligently paid your tuition already, those of you who paid it in full. It's such a huge help to us. Unfortunately, if tuition isn't current, your child is not going to be able to return to school. Thank you all for listening all the way through to the end of that long orientation. I appreciate it. We know that you guys are trusting us with the most priceless treasure, the thing that you value the most, your child. And we are always aware of that, and we are doing our absolute best to love them and to nourish them and to get them ready for kindergarten. Thank you.